Our traffic congestion in Kuala Lumpur is back as the economy reopens and more people return to workplaces. Data shows the situation is worse than it was pre-pandemic. Melissa Goh with this report.
It's bumper to bumper in and around the capital city of Kuala Lumpur. Motorist VIMAL KUMAR says traffic is heavier than before the COVID-19 pandemic. The 10-kilometer drive to work, he says, takes him almost an hour. Still, leaving his car at home is not an option.
If I was to, take on a public transport, it involves me, 5 minutes of walking, changing 2 lines of trains, and then finally getting on a bus and getting here. So that, on average, it could take me anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I would just rather drive, although I know I'm contributing to the jam as well.
VIMAL is not alone. Hundreds of thousands of motorists in Kuala Lumpur are joining the crawl every day instead of using public transport.
According to the Road Transport Department, the country, despite having a population of just over 33 million, has more than 30 million registered vehicles on the road. Now, on average, every single household in Malaysia owns more than 1 car. And that, industry experts say, was largely driven by the national automotive industry that began in the 80s that encourages easy car ownership. And the problem persists today.
Transport experts said the contradictory policies coupled with poor planning were the main reason why public transport usage is far below the 40% targeted by the government.
It will never happen because national automotive policy want to build more cars. And building more cars meaning that you will sell more cars.
Currently, less than 20% of the people use public transport. The rest rely on private mode of transportation. As a result, the rail system is said to be underutilized. Former Transport Minister Loke says more needs to be done to entice motorists to make the switch.
It is quite a complicated problem. That you cannot suddenly say that I want to discourage car ownership. Then what options are you giving to the public? The government must solve the first and last mile problem before we talk about other measures such as congestion fees going into the city, making it more expensive to own a car, or even cutting down fuel subsidy.
Transport experts say enhancing access to train stations is key. Apart from frequent and reliable feeder services, the authorities should also look at ways to improve micro-mobility instead of banning e-scooters and mopeds entirely.
I cannot access the train, then what's the point of having a train services to run as the backbone of the public transport for the country?
Transport Minister Siong has promised to improve the public transport services, but stressed that his ministry is not to be blamed for the gridlock.
Enforcement is not only purely from MOT, from the police, and in the management of traffic flow, and all this is not under MOT, but they put the blame all to MOT.
Meanwhile, the delay and breakdown of rail services did little to shore up public confidence. Until those issues are resolved, many motorists are likely to rely on their own vehicles, further chalking up the huge petrol subsidies that's hit almost $8 billion this year. Melissa Goh, CNA, Kuala Lumpur.